Welcome to the Judgment Free Zone. You've downloaded the Alcohol-Free Marriage and More podcast with Matt and Amy, recorded live from the cornfields of Central Illinois. Welcome to episode number 90 for October 21st, 2024.
Well, hello there, children. Welcome back to your freak show that is the Alcohol-Free Marriage and More podcast. I think I said that right?
I don't know why we're a freak show.
I think the old intro we used to use, I used the line from Homer Simpson. It goes, "Oh, freak show." And so
so you're like Uber dating us.
And that's back when we had you pre-recorded, and then you renamed the podcast and more, and then it didn't work, and I didn't want to re-record it, so we just have you do it live. And so now my intro doesn't match the old. And
it's a whole thing.
It's a podcast struggle, kids. Podcasting not as easy as it may look on TV.
So remember to subscribe to this podcast in any of the areas we're at. We're on Apple, we're on YouTube.
Wherever you're listening / watching / anything.
It does help us reach other people who
That's true.
need to hear our message.
And so if you're so compelled, share it with somebody.
Yes, please.
That may be a bridge too far for some of you, I know.
Please share.
It's pretty easy to go down and rate it and a review.
That would be awesome.
Now that I thought about it, Amy, we also have something new for our listeners this because I forgot to make a note of it. As I told you, Amy, don't make me have to do too many edits. If you'd like to leave a voicemail, because you can always email amy@jointheirside.com. If you'd like to voicemail in, maybe you want to share your story, you have a question for us, something that's a little easier to voicemail in than to type, feel free to call us at 224-225-9302. That's 224-225-9302. Don't worry, it's just a voicemail line we are not going to answer. Well, the voicemail system will answer, but
yes.
If you're worried are they going to actually answer?
No.
I don't have that much kind of free time, people. Just
and
saying.
I don't really like to answer my phone.
We don't answer our real phone, let alone voicemail phones. But another option for you, we did that on the old podcast. People would call in and have questions or comments.
Yeah, it was fun.
Concerns. So if you have anything, feel free to
If you like something, if you don't like something, maybe don't.
Maybe not, yeah. We don't want the reality of it all.
I'm very sensitive.
But if you're looking for other things to download besides podcasts, you can always download our Beyond Spirits, the 7 tips for starting your AF journey. Those are the ones that helped us start our AF journey. And Amy, you can also download our weekly marriage guide. That link is right there down below in the notes as well.
Yes.
That's something that we continually do every week. We haven't done it yet today. We didn't do it last week, so I guess I'm totally lying right now. We didn't do it before I went on my trip. We didn't.
Do what?
Our weekly marriage meeting.
Oh, I know.
Keep up. Come on.
I know. I'm sorry. I just kind of had that
space.
Woo. No, but we are when we get off of this call.
This call.
This is a podcast.
This
podcast.
When we hang up from our voicemail line.
Hold on. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes.
No. And the other thing I wanted to just bring up here is that the Blessed Family Recovery Summit is coming up
this week,
October 24th, 25th, and 26th. I am so excited to be a part of this. And it is a transformative event where faith meets healing over 3 days, like I said. There's 16 experts. They're going to share their insights on how to support your loved ones through addiction and rebuilding trust. And we will have a affiliate link in
the notes.
So
click that link and sign yourself up.
And also, you know what? It's under Blessed Family Recovery.
How much is this? How much is
this? It's free.
Oh.
It's totally free. Unless you want to get... there's a
long-term access to the content.
Yeah, there's and it's not very expensive.
Sober Summit does something similar. Yeah, if you watch it live, it's all free, but you get
and you have 24 hours each day to watch it. The one thing that's nice about this, it's a little bit more intimate. Not that the other is awesome too, and I did that last year. It was awesome, but there's not as many speakers on this, so you don't have to feel that pressure, like, oh my gosh, I have to get all of these done. But again, the VIP ticket is not that expensive.
If you don't want to watch live. And
I think
we've done those before just because it's easier to watch on your own time or jump around or whatever.
I did it with the Sober Summit.
Yeah, but
this year, I'm like,
but if you want to
But
consume the content. And,
it is. It's great. There's a lot of freebies out there. Lots of just great information. And then also there is a community, a private Facebook page. If you are still doing Facebook, which I know many of you are, even though you don't like it, we know. So you can also join us on that page as well. They'll send you, I believe they send you a link for that. So
lots of links.
I know it.
But when in doubt, check the notes. That's what we say, kids.
And please, you know what? If you have a question about it, reach out.
There you go. That's true.
I'm really excited. I'm on day 1.
How are you on day 1?
I'm on.
Oh, you speak on day 1.
I speak on day 1.
I'm like, how are you on day 1? Hasn't started yet.
And I guess another thing is for people who maybe are tuning in and they're like, well, what? Excuse me. What is this all about? The speakers, basically, it's in a podcast form. So there's 16 speakers, but it's an interview, basically, kind of sharing your story. So I think that it makes it easier.
Right.
To consume the content.
There you
so
go, kids.
Please, go out there and it's just
check it out.
Check it out.
There you go. Check.
That's like wrap it up.
Wrap it up. That's what I'm saying, Amy. All right, Coach Amy, it's time for our drink of the week.
Okay.
What is your drink of the week?
My
That was
drink-
pre-assigned to you. Sorry.
Usually I pre-assigned, except
It's
you
new.
gave me a 4-pack. We got a 4-pack.
Well, it's a mixed pack. It's a 12-pack with multi-flavors.
Is there 4 in there?
There's 4 flavors. 4 flavors.
4 flavors.
In a
It's
12-pack.
not a 4-pack. Sorry.
No.
It's Lagunitas Brewing Company, and it's their Hoppy Refresher, and they had some different flavors.
Because Hoppy Refresher has been around and they're kind of plain, kind of like.
And I always like that.
Yeah.
It's very nice.
Then they went to a can, and now they have more flavors, kind of like hop water.
Yes. And so this flavor is berry lemon.
I think it has the plain, the berry lemon, the blood orange, and I do not know what the fourth. I think it's like a fruit punch or something like that.
I don't know.
or-
This is good though, and there's 0 calories. I don't know.
I don't think it has like the adaptogens like you would find in
No.
hop water.
But
But not everything needs an adaptogen. We get a little adaptogen happy around these parts sometimes.
it tastes great.
Everything's got to have an adaptogen.
I kind of like this, and it's not overpowering, and it doesn't leave like an aftertaste either.
Well, that's good because sometimes it gets a little weird.
But I don't think.
I don't know. I do like their hop water, which is weird. It's not hop water. It's hop water, but it's not hop water brand.
True.
It's kind of like Kleenex, right? I am drinking Stella Artois 00. But I got that. I think we've featured it before, but now you can buy it 12-pack in a can, which is very handy. Yeah. So it's very easy. It's in the tall, slender cans like
Let me try that.
like you would find in the like a White Claw type style can. I can know a better way. It's 12 ounces, but it's just a skinny tall boy, I guess you'd call it. What's that look for?
No, it's good.
Oh,
No, I'm sorry.
You winced like, oh.
No, it's good.
I don't know how well it pairs with.
It might have been that, but no, it's really good.
No.
It is. It's in that little skinny can.
Yep. Which I still think is 12. Yeah, it's still 12 ounces. But
Yeah. It's just,
it's a very dainty can.
I know. That was what my thought was. I'm like, but you know what?
Hey,
I like it.
but if people have cozies that are that shape, say you were quitting drinking and you drank a lot of White Claws and those type of cans, this can would fit in those cozies, but no alcohol. Think outside the can box.
Think
Can
outside.
cozy. Think outside the cozy.
The koozie.
Koozie. Is it cozy or
Who cares?
call our number 224-225.
Yeah. We'll do a poll.
9306. We'll do or
Koozie,
9302.
Koozie or cozy
Let us know
for your
for
beverages.
your beverage of choice. Hopefully, non-alcoholic beverage of choice.
So what are we talking about down here, Matt?
See, you already aren't following the rules, Amy. You gotta wait for this. I used to do bumpers a lot in the old podcasts, and Amy was not very good at the transitions.
I'm still not. However, I just wanted to say that you skipped over a point, and
That's
then
okay. We'll come back to it.
okay. I just didn't want you to.
It's
miss
all about
it.
the flow.
I'm
Amy only loves
all about the checklist. You know. And I'm on my phone this time. If you were looking at this, I didn't bring my laptop up. I don't know why.
She said, "Should I get my computer?" I said no, which was probably not a good move,
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I'm so sorry, honey.
That's okay.
So what do we?
Well, we kind of have some booze news things, Amy.
Yes.
I did have the thing about, I've talked about it before. Travel when you don't drink is much easier.
Well, let's give it a little highlight on that. Like last week you were traveling.
So I had a trip. Last week. Excuse me. Oh, jeez. That's probably carbonated beverages on the podcast. I was traveling when I used to fly all the time. It was either have to have a Xanax if it was a morning flight, or alcohol on an afternoon flight,
or both.
We're
not going to
really
lie
not
here.
subscribe. We really don't.
But
prescribe
I'm
that.
just saying.
Yeah. And I always just thought, well, I just can't handle flying. The anxiety of flying. Well, it turns out that most of my anxiety from flying came with my anxiety with bathroom issues that were ultimately caused by alcohol. I quit drinking. My bathroom issues went away. Bathroom issues went away. Anxiety went away, and I don't need anything when I fly.
So that little cycle, that little circular.
And you can still, and really, actually, the airport lounges usually have NA options. A lot of the bars now have NA options.
And that I think is relatively new.
Oh gosh, yeah.
But the other thing, because within the last couple of years, where it's, it's really starting to.
The NAs were in the
gear up.
lounges first before it was in the main part, but you save a ton of money. But it's just like, and I was in Vegas, which is like drinking capital of the world, and of course I'm like, didn't really.
But you know what I found interesting is also, because we're recording this on a Sunday, this morning. You've always been somebody also at church who has always been like, I gotta be on the end. I gotta be on the end.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, we got there and there was lots of seats, and I'm like, well, do you want people to be crossing over you the whole time? You're like, go on in. So we sat in the middle. That was like shocking.
I know.
Crazy. But again, I think it goes back to that, right?
Yep. Oh, if you're a drinker,
you even said that was past Matt or something like that.
Yeah, I'm like, not anymore. Yeah, I don't. It's anybody tells me they have stomach problems, I ask them if they drink. Quit drinking, then we'll talk about your stomach problem.
That's true.
I think that goes for a lot of health things.
So many different.
If you have health
things.
issues and you're drinking, stop drinking first. Take the poison out of your body. Just see what happens.
Just take a break. Like
mine only took maybe not even a couple weeks probably. Before I started
your system reset pretty quick, but I would say give it 30 because we are in sober October.
That's true. How's your sober October going? Amy?
Just take a 30-day break.
It can be any 30 days you choose, kids. It
doesn't have to be.
It doesn't have to be the first of the month. It doesn't have to be October.
It can be today. That's something I've talked about. Is instead of going, you know what, I'm going to start on Monday with something.
Right.
When I have that thought now, it's like, no, we're going to start right now. We don't have to start tomorrow.
Well, the reason it says Monday the first, because that's not today. I can.
Or at the beginning of the month, or at the end of the, the beginning of the year, or whatever it is. It's like, no, honestly, why not start right now? And do one small step.
And other than rhyming, October's a good month to quit because it gives you some days and weeks under your belt before you go into the holidays. So those can be challenging too.
Mm-hmm.
Very. For multiple reasons. But, Coach Amy, coming off drinks of the week, I want to talk about some new drinks that we're one we're going to get for sure.
Oh, you haven't ordered it yet?
I still haven't. Put it on the list of things.
It'll be coming soon.
Coming soon to the podcast near you. Tom Holland has of Spider-Man fame.
Yes, a.k.a. Spider-Man.
Yes, if you don't know who Tom Holland is.
Zendaya's boyfriend.
Yeah, he'd been living under a Spider-Man rock. He quit drinking a couple years ago, 2.5 years ago. Yeah. And he now has a beer line. Mm-hmm. There's 3 kinds of beers. I'm going to order that so we can try it on the podcast. But
B-Row.
Yeah, it's called B-Row. B-E-R-O, like hero, but B-Row.
Is that what it... Okay.
Yeah, it's like beer and hero, B-Row. Yes.
Thank you.
Clever. But I think it's really awesome that he, and there's so many celebrities that have alcohol, right? There's gins and tequilas that are celebrity built. I think this is like one of the first that I know of that are
Katy Perry had her. She has one that's an NA.
Oh, did she? Okay. This is the first
is that
Del Sol
mm-hmm. or something like that. And then there's of course the ones who have the organic wine.
Oh, right.
which I'm always like, okay, whatever.
But yeah, so yeah, he has 3 styles. And it's not cheap. It's not. I mean, it's about in line if you ever bought Untitled Art. It's like $15 a 6-pack.
But
But
from what I understand, the process they're doing is the same
It's like Go
as Go.
and Untitled. Yeah, Go and Untitled, they don't remove the alcohol. They don't let it ever produce, so it gives you a better flavor. You don't have to heat it.
Yeah, but it has a very low amount of alcohol.
Well, yeah, it's not. You
What
can't
is
get to
it?
0.0. It ends up being sub 0.5.
Yeah.
A true 0.0, like the Stella, was brewed and then had it basically baked.
Yeah,
Roughly. I mean, I'm no brewmaster by any stretch.
true.
But then, keeping up with NA stuff, taking off more. Shark Tank actually featured a company called Little Saints. They make NA, a very common story of like, I couldn't find what I wanted on the store shelf, so I invented it myself. So it's canned craft cocktails. I think there's like they just came out with a spiced old fashioned. There's a margarita.
Oh, I can't wait.
It's again a little on this. I think it does have nootropics in it. Ashwagandha. I think we put ashwagandha in everything these days. But it's probably, if you ever bought Kin has nootropics. I do like Kin.
Yeah.
Kin's about $5 a can. This is about $5 a can. So a 12-pack is like $50. Is that math?
Ooh, they have the mushroom.
Yeah.
They have mushrooms, and botanicals.
Yeah. So I mean, but the reviews.
Oh, they have a spicy margarita.
Yeah, that's one you might like.
Ooh, and a ginger mule.
Yeah. So I think they have a mix pack you can order too, which is nice. Tom Holland's beer has a mix pack, so if you don't know what you like, you don't have to buy like.
Guess we'll
2 cases.
We'll
probably order some of the little. I know.
We'll get a couple mix packs.
Yes.
Be kind of fun. Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't thinking maybe we should do this closer to Thanksgiving.
Oh, okay.
No.
But I it's when easy for me to say, it just adds to the mainstream effect, right? Like you have a celebrity who quits drinking, who starts a beer company, a non-alcoholic beer company. You have Shark Tank featuring a non-alcoholic startup, like.
Well, and I guess we should. I mean, we can put out there too. I know. I just listened to an interview that he did. I'll see if I can find that link, and we can even put that in there.
His story is pretty easy to find.
But yeah, if you go out there, but he was on the Rick Roll podcast.
Oh, he didn't.
But he was talking about how he would literally, to go to different, Hollywood parties and stuff, he would just have to get hammered so that he could have the ability to be able to go and talk to people and everything. And then he would feel horrible for, a couple days or whatever. And, it for your mental health, the anxiety, you just have to I'm not anti-alcohol, but I am very pro being very aware of what it does. And this is also, isn't this mental health month? I know
I can't keep track of the months.
I know it. There's so many different things. And there was just Mental Health Day probably a couple of weeks ago. And that's one of the things that you have to be aware of. If you have anxiety, if you have depression, and you're drinking alcohol on a semi-consistent basis, like if you are somebody who is only drinking on the weekends, I can guarantee you it is elevating your depression and your anxiety.
Yes. If you're doing it daily like I was, I guarantee it is.
Exactly. And it was funny because, I mean, I know that to get the effects of alcohol out of your body, what I was taught and what I learned was it really can take 7 to 10 business days to get
7 to 10 days, not
why
business
do I always say business days? I think that must be my sales thing.
Your body doesn't purge on the weekends.
When I'm at the coffee shop, that's 7 to 10 business days. That always just, and you're my favorite customer.
Yeah.
So
7 to 10 business days.
I don't know why that comes out, but 7 to 10 days?
Days, period.
Does it have to be the business days?
No, you don't have to quit on a business day either. You can quit on a weekend.
So along with that, the effects to get it out of your system totally, like what it is done to get back. And everybody's different. But I just listened to, and I can't remember the doctor's name, I'm listening to a podcast, and he was talking about, oh yeah, if you want to, he's talking about, being optimal and your health and, like your fitness routine and all of these different things. And he said, yeah, if you want to have some alcohol, like have one, have two.
Right.
He's like, it's going to take you 3 weeks to get you back to where you were at. And I was like, whoa, 3 weeks?
Yeah, just from that one.
Even, I'm like, wow. But
That's
anyways.
somebody say shocking.
It was shocking.
Well, we'll see in 7 to 10 business days. All right, Coach Amy, I got a little booze news. This one I thought is interesting.
All right.
Your IQ in high school can predict your alcohol use later in life.
Oh, man.
Now, I read that thinking, okay, well, I was a drinker, so it must be low IQ but according to this, I must be a genius based on my drinking. So a teenage IQ could be oddly predictive of their beverage choices later in life. And scientists don't know why that is. According to a new study of predominantly white men and women in the U.S., the higher someone's IQ score is in their first year of high school, the greater chance they have of regularly drinking alcohol in adulthood. That seems, I don't know, I guess
I wonder if it has to do with socioeconomics, too.
I feel like this is one of those more like
Co-
correlative test
Yeah.
things and a causation.
Yeah, I would say that must be one of those. Like a correlation.
Is
okay,
it because like
it's
I'm an
just
overachiever? But your IQ isn't necessarily how hard
they're
you
probably
work.
no, but they're probably going and saying, okay, well, here you go. Now here they are and they're in high school. Well, what's the chances that they're going to go into
Like high performing jobs. And
yes, and
that
they're
cause
going to
stress
go and yes, exactly.
that's probably
That's
more
the only thing I can think of. Not that it's like this positive thing.
So I guarantee I did not have a high IQ in my first or ever, but
I think you have a high IQ, or at least
I don't know
a
as if
normal IQ.
But as this study probably was conducted, I probably wouldn't fall in their high IQ category. I don't know. I don't know. I guess I just always think of.
But also, if you look at it
now,
now,
I'm drinking and I'm not smart, and
they
that's where I
have
go.
like what's the is it Gen Y, Gen Z?
Gen Z is the new one. No, Gen Alpha is the new one.
But like our kids
are Gen Zs.
Yeah,
Gen Z.
Well, millennials are drinking less than Gen Xers. Gen Xers are drinking less than boomers, and the Gen Zers, they're kind of looking at it as
That's just for
not all of them, but
are drinking less.
They're drinking less.
For every 1 point increase in IQ score, researchers found a 1.6% increase in being a moderate or heavy drinker, as opposed to an abstainer. Those with higher IQ scores, however, were less likely to report binge drinking episodes.
I don't know.
I just thought that was interesting. That did not go the way I thought it would go.
Very interesting.
And while I'm not going to get into the political discussion on pros and cons, but Ozempic shows promise for alcohol and drug addiction studies. First off, I'm like, is this like... Sometimes I start to worry, is it too much of a miracle drug? But if it could help people quit drinking. Ozempic and similar medications for type 2 diabetes and weight loss could also help people struggling with addiction, according to a new study. Probably brought to you by Ozempic. But
I was going to say...
It doesn't say who, but because it never does. But research found that people addicted to alcohol who also had a prescription for Ozempic or similar medications had a 50% lower rate of binging on alcohol compared to people who were not on the medications. And people with opioid use disorder who were taking the medication had a 40% lower rate of opioid overdose. So it doesn't necessarily say quitting. Like it's talking about binging. Is it part of because
it takes your desire away, doesn't it?
Well, it takes away you're not really as hungry,
your desire.
So, well, not for life, I don't think, but for food.
Yeah, no, and it also people who are on it also are more. Many times they're feeling hopeless, and the causes of depression is going up for people who are using this as well.
They hypothesize that these medications might impact cravings and reward-seeking behaviors.
There you go.
The observed reduction in
your dopamine receptors, probably.
Yeah, so that if you aren't getting the reward of the alcohol as much, I don't know.
Once again, we are not medical professionals
no,
in any
I
way,
literally
shape,
am
or
reading
form.
an article off NPR. So
And I would just like to say that, yeah,
that's always interesting. I'm like,
it is interesting,
anything-
but
there's probably a little more research.
any
needs to-
time that we are taking a drug and
Off-labeling
when we are watching, like when you were watching those drug
commercials,
and when they're telling you that anytime I'm listening to it, and
May
when
cause
they come
death.
up, may cause cancer, depression, may cause, and then they tell you that it actually many times could possibly make whatever you're trying to not have
right?
worse.
Well, I always love it
Like
because
especially the depression ones may cause suicidal thoughts. Excuse me?
well, I wish I don't know what the rule is, but when they get to the end of the commercial and they've done all that, they're not able or whatever to like reiterate like what it's for, like blah 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 for this. So by the time they get through all that crap, I'm like, hold on, what problem are we trying to fix? Because that's a lot of crap. It's like the cancer ones, I get it because
and
you have to almost kill yourself to survive. But some of the other ones, it's like I don't know if,
like so many of them may cause cancer. I mean, at the end of almost every single one of them. Oh, may cause lymphoma.
Which I think is
may
why
cause
more
this.
and more people are going after more homeopathic or natural things. It's like, well,
I don't think more and more people are. I
Well,
think
I'd like to
more and
hope
more
so.
people are thinking, I love the quick fix.
Well, that's true.
I like the easy button.
And that's the challenge with alcohol, quitting alcohol. There's not
right.
necessarily an easy button to that.
It's not. There's not an easy button.
No.
In fact, I've been asked by so many, that's one of the things. Why? Why can I, why, how did you do it? And I'm like, you know what? It was really, literally at the beginning, there were times where it was like one day, like each day. All right, I'm not drinking today.
That's a true saying.
But it also, some days was each moment.
Right.
I'm right now.
I'm choosing not to drink.
I'm choosing not to drink right now. And then in another 10 minutes, right now, I'm choosing not to drink. And I know that seems kind of crazy, but I just want to encourage you that if you are in this and you're thinking of like, oh, well, this should be easy. This is not easy. If you can quit alcohol in an alcohol saturated, soaked society that we live in,
right.
you can do anything.
Well, I think that's why
I really believe that.
That's why people hire people like you as coaches, because just like you can't just throw 12 people on a field or whatever sport you're playing, a number of people out on a field and say, go ahead and go and hope for the best. Like same thing with quitting. It's like two things happen when you get a coach. One, you have somebody to hold you accountable. So you have an accountability buddy. And you've also put it out there. Because one of the reasons I had the biggest trouble quitting was I just told myself, okay, today I'm just going to try and do a little. Nobody knew I was doing it. So if I failed, nobody knew I failed.
Well, and you and I mean, I think this is again, in being in Sober October or whatever, whenever you're listening to this, it is so true because I was doing the same thing.
Right.
And when you have two people who are kind of henning around, kind of talking about it at certain times, but now no one is making like a definitive, hey, let's do this.
Right.
And the fear around that, like the fear of you saying, well, good for you. I'm not doing this.
Right.
Thank you so much for not doing that. But I think that's one of those things that we have this fear of being judged because in our society, it is put out there that, you don't drink? You have a problem or you can't handle drinking. Well, I can handle this.
Right.
Well, I could handle it, but it wasn't something that was, there was no benefit anymore for me.
Right.
I mean, there wasn't any benefit at all. It's kind of like when you're playing a game on your phone or you're scrolling some days and you're sitting there going, what am I doing?
Well,
there's this, go ahead. I'm just going to.
Well, a plug for my buddy Jelly Roll. He's not really my buddy, but I met him once.
Met him once. We have a picture.
His newest album is a lot about recovery. I mean, a lot of his stuff his previous one was more about like being in the battle. Like this is more about recovery on the other side.
And look at him go.
Yeah, he's on a health journey of his own.
And I think that what I love, like, well, Buck, who was on here, we interviewed him and his wife, and he's like on a health, like he
Right.
just ran, I think, another Ironman or something. I think those are the things that, like we're looking at, and you let go of alcohol, and then it's like,
Oh, look what I can
well,
do.
I need to, maybe I need to do something else.
Right.
And that's why, I need to not do the whole, like many of us do. And I'm not saying not to do this, but I would rather have you go, oh, I'm going to have some chocolate tonight or
Right.
ice cream. But then there's a point where you get, and you're like, oh, I gotta
Gotta
reel
reel it
that in too.
Well, you need to check out his album. If I mean, I enjoy it, even being almost 4 years away from alcohol. But his first track on the new album says, he's basically about walking into AA. But he's like, he talks about somebody who'd been 23 years sober and says, nobody walks through this door on a winning streak.
Yeah.
So it's like, you're not going to start this journey on a winning streak, and getting a winning streak, just like in anything, can be a challenge. So don't let that be the reason. Well, I haven't done it. I haven't,
And I think the other thing that a lot of people will be like, well, how did you do it? How, because they look and they think it looks, like, oh my gosh, look where you're at.
If I just
like,
do this
if
I just do this checklist of things,
and it's
problem solved.
Yeah, but it's also like, oh well, look, you made it look so easy. Well, yeah, no, you don't see the backstory. You don't
Right.
see the 10 years of the mind trap that we were going through individually and together, and the whole, oh well, I can take 2-3 weeks off.
Right.
Oh, I'm good. Or I can just drink 2 drinks each week.
Everybody who's quit has a hero story and a hero journey.
And
it looks easy when it's done, but like, what did you.
And many people forget that, like, they want what's on the other side, but they don't want to walk through the transformation. The transformation is the part that is the hard part. And there is pain in this, because then you start to discover other things, but it is so worth it. I promise you,
100%.
it's so worth it. And it does. And if you have right now, I like to tell people this, if you have one day, if you have 10 days, if you have whatever, and then you have a data point, or whatever a sidestep, a drink or whatever, just remember that that's part of your journey. And you go, okay, all right, let's analyze it. Let's see, well, why did I do? What did I learn from this?
And just because you fell off the wagon doesn't mean you burn the wagon to the ground and quit. It's
No.
like, get back on the damn thing and start over again.
Exactly. Because then the next time you go and
But stop
you say,
and learn from it.
Exactly.
Don't just be like, oh, that was fun. Like,
Well, and some people will be like, oh, I've gone 10 days. Oh, I've got this. No, I'm sorry. You probably don't have this.
right.
But what you can
10
do.
business days or 2 weeks, Amy? Just checking.
Either.
Okay.
So you get to those 10 days and you're like, oh, okay, I'm feeling good. Go to 11. And even if you do have a sidestep at day 10 or whatever, I love to tell people this. It's -1. I got 10 -1.
There you go.
I got 11 -1.
Yep.
Whatever. Keep yourself going. Don't and look at the whole month. So I that's another
Well, all those
thing.
a lot of those sober apps drink. Well, to see like, okay, look, I only had 7 drinking days this month. Next month, let's try and do 6.
Yeah.
Like whatever your goal needs to be to help you and see
And then
progress.
look at it like as in percentages too.
Right.
So if you look at a whole month of 30 days and say you had 1 to, or 3 or whatever it is, like, oh, that's pretty good average.
Right.
I mean, that's 27 days that I haven't drank.
And I'm gonna. I ruined our screen. I wanted to read a stat to you that I don't open my sobriety counter very often anymore. But
I don't either.
it's 1,300 days. That's not what I was looking at.
Woo! That's and celebrate that.
No, but here I've almost. This is sad. In 4 years in January. Make easy math. I have almost avoided 1 million calories.
I don't think I have calories on mine.
Yeah, mine has calories.
Wow.
4,761 drinks, but almost 1 million calories. Sorry, the screen is off now, but
Wow. Oh, I'd have
So
to
when you
go.
talk-
I'd have to.
so of all the it helps your health and all that good stuff, but the fact that
Oh,
I've avoided 1 million calories.
That's absolutely amazing. We would have to do the math for me. But I'm looking at 1670 on my days. And it conservatively $8 a day. I have saved. It's not in a bank, people.
No, it's in this can here, and it's in this Stella over here, and yeah.
But health wise, I feel amazing, and it's so worth it. But like over $13,000.
I think combined we're over 20,000.
Yeah,
which
probably.
Is probably
I
very
would say-
conservative, guaranteed conservative.
Oh,
Yeah.
if I'm at 13, you
Oh,
drink more than
that's
me.
It's probably closer to 30.
I was
But
gonna say.
to your point, not in a bank somewhere.
Very exciting. And we have a couple of guests coming up.
Yes.
A couple of interviews
Yeah,
in
we
the
have-
next couple of weeks. So
We have an
super
interview
excited.
this week we're going to do. That'll be live next Monday for you. So
Yes.
be sure to check that out.
So yeah, keep coming back. If you have ideas, if there's anything you want us to kind of look into, hey,
Yeah.
I love doing that.
You can always email Amy at joyontheotherSide.com. Or don't forget about that voicemail, 224-225-9302. We'd love to hear from you there, too.
Don't
be sure
forget
and-
about the summit.
Don't forget about the summit. You can sign up for free. Use our link down below, and you can get yourself registered if you just choose to. You could get that VIP access. I love
Yes,
the VIP
I do
access.
too.
No, I love being special.
I am special.
All right, kids. Well, that's it for us for this week. Wishing you peace and love from the cornfields. I'm Matt, along with Coach Amy, and we are
Out.